Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we'll be working on my buddy Dalton's EM1. It's a shame I live on gravel. This is just from a mile of him driving. Unfortunately he came when it was raining, but this is honestly the cleanest Civic I have ever seen. So this thing is so nice, and we're actually going to B20 swap it. We actually installed these hood pins too. Glad I could guinea pig on his car and not mine. Anyways, so here's the plant right here, just a standard stock B16 trans, and we're going to be swapping a B20 into this that we'll be rebuilding. He has a BYS front bumper on it. It's running on Coney yellows with MPC struts. This thing is a big OG kind of setup. I love it as is, but he had to put the Thanos chin bumper on it, but you know, whatever, I can respect it. Each build to their own. But again, I can't stress how clean of a car this is. I don't know all the specs on it, but it's just really nice, and we're going to B20 swap this. Here's the thing. I am a mechanical guy. I'm not a cosmetics guy, so I'm going to work on the engine for him while he makes the car look good. Now let's go get that engine, or I'll show y'all inside the shed there. And you see, the thing here is I'm a full-time redneck, part-time racer, but Hondas are where I started. And you could tell I got some cleaning to do. I'm organizing my shop and whatnot, but the parts car is down there. Welcome to my junkyard here. That's not even my car. That doesn't have a title. That's my first car. This was given to me. There's my grandpa's Corvette. There's the Civic. And here is the parts car right here. And this is actually my Civic. Dalton just gave it to me. Thank you, Dalton. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Not really an EK guy, but we'll see. So right here, here's the B20. I believe it has a GSR trans. We're not sure yet. And the lowdown with this is we're going to swap this into that car, but we're going to build some internals on this. Very similar to what I did to my Civic a couple years ago. Very simple build. We're going to do GSR pistons on the bottom end. Just very subtle. I try to talk him into doing a whole stroker kit and whatnot, and the build might evolve as time goes on here, but ultimately I want to get this engine on an engine stand and start taking this engine apart. And this shell is actually really clean. The only part that's rusted out is right here on the quarter panel. It's been spray painted black, so it's probably been stolen a few times. But one of the big selling points of this was, oh, come on. Yeah, you already know. So this car is just ready to go. But again, like I said, we're going to be rebuilding the engine and whatnot. We're going to be tuning her up a little bit. And as for his B16, drop in the comments below. He might be interested in selling it. I'm honestly not sure yet, but if you're interested, just let us know in the comments below. And I guess since while we're over here, I'll show you guys my sweetheart. I've had this Civic since 2019, and I ruined it. But she's my track car. Big B series people here, you already know. So this is just a B18 C1 with a Civic Trans LS 5th gear, GSR piston internals, and fully built bottom end and top end ARP stuff. Well, I guess that's about the only build. Fully reinforced, we'll say. But this car is very reliable, and the only thing it needs, I think, is a tune. I feel like I'm missing out on a lot of power because I'm just running on a generic old Skunk 2 map. You know, the chips you insert into the P28 ECUs. But yep, we're gonna take that guy out, throw it on the stand, and work on it. So anyways, let's get started. Let's start taking off everything we can here. I'm still waiting on a load leveler, so I don't trust pulling this engine out until I get a load leveler, because I don't want to scratch it up. It's such a nice car. But we'll get everything else pulled off, like the traction bar, radiator. Oh great, this has a AC. But all the other good stuff, intake, block that up. So just all the other goodies, so when we pull the engine, we're actually fully ready. I'll keep checking in with y'all. I'm going to blast some Alan Jackson so I can get motivated. Alright, let's get to wrenching on this thing. Today is December 6th, as you can tell on my watch here. This should be a pretty quick build, and we're going to see how quick it takes us to do this. We're not going to be in a rush, but it can just show that this stuff doesn't take as long as you think. Longest part is parts acquisition and the machine shop, but besides that, actually just working on the car is pretty simple. First bolt to bust loose. Hey guys, so in the shot here you're seeing that I'm actually unplugging all the sensors and whatnot. Later found out that's kind of dumb because I could just unplug everything from the ECU and unbolt it from the firewall and I'll all pull out. But I'm used to my EK or my EG. My EG is like that. You got to unplug the harness from the engine. But on these EKs, you can just pull the harness with the engine. So lesson learned there. But drop in the comments below, what do you think is better, K series or B series? Obviously, each one has its pros and cons. The way I look at it is I run B series stuff because I started running them when they were still affordable. I bought a whole Integra parts car for $1,000 back in the day. That was a GSR, and it's pretty much what I've been running since. But nowadays, B series prices are getting close to K series, and it's more just B series are more appealing for the OG factor per se. But drop in the comments below, what do you guys prefer, K series or B series? Well, assuming most of y'all are familiar with Hondas, you already know what this is. And I had a heck of a time with that. And to top it off, this linkage has been on there since, you know, Christ was born. So, yeah. That took me about 7 hours worth of labor. Many curse words and hammers were thrown. But what's done has been done, and I'm thankful it's done. Ta-da! And she's out. I got the numbers matching engine and transmission out of the Civic with minimal damage. The only thing I forgot was the fuel return line. But usually when you take these out, you scratch up the sides here, and I did a very good job at not doing that. So I'm actually pretty proud of that. It's a lot harder to take engines out of EKs than it is EGs. But anyways, we got this engine pulled out. Soon here, I'll have to go get the B20 parts car pulled in here and do all the same again. B16A2, S4C trans. I will add too, I did take the valve cover off, and that's for a very important reason. And that's mainly because these chains tend to scratch up the valve cover, but also this valve cover is completely OEM. I remember when Dalton got it, it was still in the original packaging. So this is the OEM finish and whatnot, not aftermarket. And it even has the oil cap to go with it. So, like I was saying, this is probably the nicest Civic I'll ever work on. I'm taking extra precautionary measures to make sure I don't ding anything up. Alrighty folks, here she is. I pulled it over here so I get a little bit more head space. We're going to pull this engine out pretty soon here, no duh, but there might be some goodies in the bottom end of this. It might be a little souped up already. All it does is it needs a tune, but we did find out it's faster than the stock 9th gen SI, so that's pretty awesome. But like I said, there might be some more surprises in that bottom end. I'm going to queue up a little montage here where it looks like I pulled this engine in, 15 minutes, but really it takes me a couple days. Not my prime anymore. Fastest I pulled the B series was, I think, an hour actually. It was pretty simple. But there she is. Let's get her pulled on out. Oh, and before I pull it out, I might as well give you guys a quick walk around of the car too. So, it has the classic NRG quick release. I love my Honda. It's got the nice cluster, AEM, AFR gauge, and oil pressure gauge. Radio, on data, and one thing that's really nice about this, even a hybrid racing short shifter, and this thing is just a joy to shift, at least compared to my eBay short shifter in my track car here. Even has the fog light button. I never had a Civic with that, so that kind of makes me happy. Interior is also pretty mint on this. Please don't steal this. It's already spray painted black. It probably already has been stolen. You know how Hondas go. I completely forgot to remove the shift linkage. Yo! Never gonna make that mistake again. Alright, about Mick had it with this darn thing. You're coming out. Yeah, good. Good. My Atlanta. I try to be carefuler when I'm pulling engines, but this is a parts car, who cares? Woof to me. It doesn't help with that chain, you know, kitty wampus on us too. That this alternator is grabbing a harness for some reason. Never had this issue. That was, and I don't care. Wow. Man, like I said, I've done this for a long time, but this was a struggle. Guess I'm losing my touch. Oh, look at that. I also forgot another thing. What is that? Oh, some aftermarket sensor. What's that ran under the dash? Oh, that's the oil pressure gauge. The thing that kind of stinks here is I gotta drop the car down in order to actually get the engine out of there, but my hoist is now hitting the ceiling of my shop. But I can't drop the car down yet because the exhaust is on the ground. This has been such a joy. There you go. That's the worst of the rust right there. Otherwise, she's a pretty nice rig. Alright. Get this bugger out of here once and for all. Man, she was taut, but finally got her out. Got to get this guy pushed in the shed. Man, I tell you what, I'm losing my edge because this is supposed to be easy, but I did this like I did in high school, and that was pathetic. Quick update. Wheel fell off the control arm. It's like a couple turns just by hand isn't enough to hold it on, apparently. But on a brighter note, that is a beautiful sunset. Gotta move the 504 to get the Honda in. Shifter in reverse. Throttle it up a little bit. Yeah, she's cold. Alrighty guys, sorry the shop is now a mess. I just pulled the 1-ton in here, welding up some of the holes inside the floor pans over there. But anyways, here's the B20 out on the engine stand. I got the transmission right there. I'm actually going to wait until I pull this engine apart next video, because the owner of this engine, Dalton, is going to come over and help me take it apart, because he wants to be involved too, and it'd be more fun to have my buddy here to do it with and whatnot. So stay tuned for the next video. We're going to get this engine pulled apart and see exactly what is hiding underneath that bottom end. Is this just stock of B20, or is she actually souped up? And we did find out too, actually, this is a Type R intake manifold, so that's a little cherry on top, which is kind of nice. But I hope to see you guys in the next video. Please like, comment, and drop a subscribe if you feel so, and y'all have a good one.